See, that's dumb as. Why would you cry in front of your partner because you had a bad week at work?
Because if
Like
you're really
you,
stressed out, it feels good to be able to release those emotions rather than suppressing them and
you could,
releasing them with a partner. Your partner should be somebody you can trust and that you can be vulnerable with at times.
right, but you don't think it's unattractive for a woman to see their partner. Like, imagine every
You don't
week
wait.
is like
Why do you
another
guys
thing at
do
work.
this every time? You don't need the woman to
It's
be
facts.
attracted to you, turned on 24/7. You know that it's also been demonstrated scientifically that when women cry, they literally release pheromones that turn men off. So it's not very it's not going to turn anybody on to see somebody crying. But if I'm crying to a partner, my goal is not to turn them on. It's to have a human connection and be able to express my emotions.
You're not like following along. No one said we have to turn them on every single second, but you don't want to have to turn them off.
Hello?
Am I in?
You're in. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. I'm actually a fan of yours, man. You're actually entertaining. But I do got a question. Like, I don't get what do you think is the problem with a man sleeping with multiple women while he's with his woman? What's so wrong about that?
Because it depends on the context, right? So if you have made an agreement to a partner that you're going to be loyal to them and monogamous, and then you go off and cheat, you've lied to that person and you've arguably emotionally abused them. You've also just
Yeah, but
degraded yourself. Like, for all the talk we do about men need to be respected, like, you've lost respect if you're going to go off and start cheating on your woman.
yeah, but like you always say that when you get married, you made like you as if you signed a contract to be loyal. Like no one ever said you did that. Technically,
Do you think that marriage is like a general, do you think, wait, that's what marriage is when you vow to be with one person. If you're going to say, hey, I'm going to be in an open marriage, okay, then cool. Then in that case, you have agreed with your partner essentially that you are going to be in a relationship in which it's okay for you to sleep with other people also. Now that's cool, but like, if you are just in a standard marriage, no, marriage is monogamous. That's the point of marriage.
okay. So if you're in a standard marriage, but then you tell you like y'all get married, and then you tell your woman, hey, because I'm high value, or I'm gonna sleep with multiple women,
Are you going to
and
tell her that
she just got to
before or
deal with it.
after
Like,
the
what's wrong with
marriage?
that?
Okay, what's wrong
Let's
with
say you
that?
say,
Wait.
let's
No,
say
no, no,
you
stop.
do it
What's
after
wrong
marriage.
with
What's
that
wrong with
is
that?
you've committed to one person, you've married them, and now that they have committed to you, you're switching stuff up, apparently revealing your true colors and going, you know what? I don't care about the commitment I made to you. I'm going to go sleep around because I'm, quote, high value. Whatever the fuck that means. Because you got successful, like, I don't know, what, trading crypto or something? Whatever high
But
value man is, I don't care. It doesn't justify cheating on your wife.
I mean, it's not cheating if she's willing to deal with it.
If
Like,
she's
if
okay with
it's
it, if she gives you permission or whatever, if she says it's fine, I don't care, like, okay, then I guess. But you're making it sound as though you're married and then you're just off one day and there's a hot girl and you're like, well, I'm high value. I can just go fuck her if she wants to.
I mean, the thing is, you have a problem with a lot of the red pillars when they say exactly this. They never said just go around fuck. They never tell men to just go around fucking other women just for no reason. They say if you're a high value, you can pull it off. But they say not high value, they will do it, but they will lie about it. They're not telling men to go do it, but they just telling women, hey, men will go out there and fuck other women,
Then don't get
and they
married.
might not.
Then just like, if you're going to be a guy who wants to go and sleep around and fuck other women, like, okay, cool. Live your life the way you want to. But you're hurting other people if you've committed to a partner and then you cheat on them. So just don't get married and then go sleep around.
So
You
you
can't have your
saying
cake and eat it
you're
too.
okay with it? So you're okay with it as long as you don't get married, girlfriend, and
No.
you all
I'm
right,
as long
but
as you're not cheating on a partner. Let me rephrase that, okay? If you're cheating on a partner, then it's unacceptable because in that case you have made a commitment to a partner and that's the impression your partner is under. Now, if you've had a conversation, you've decided it's okay for you to sleep around or whatever, fine. But in most cases, the whole point of being married or dating is to be exclusive with each other.
Okay, so let's say you don't have that conversation, and let's say y'all not married, she's just your girl. You don't have that conversation, but she finds out you've been cheating, and you tell her, "Hey, yeah, I have." So, I mean, it is what it is. You want to stay, or you don't. Are you all right with that?
If you, I mean, I don't think you should cheat.
It's not necessarily cheating if it's just sex.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know
I
what
mean,
to. There's no where else to go with this conversation. It's like you're like a child on this issue, and then you're telling me that I'm coping in chat, but like you're saying it's not cheating
I
if
mean,
it's sex.
I mean,
It's
you
like
coping
it's just like
because
what
you
are I
pretending
don't even
like.
understand how to deal
I mean,
with
you
that
pretending
because
like sex with men and women isn't different. That's what you're pretending. Like, you don't think it's worse for like a woman to be sleeping a lot with
sleeping
different
around.
men versus worse than a man doing it? Yes. You don't think it's
Why
worse?
is it worse when the woman does it?
So you don't well hell, you don't think it's worse. You don't think a woman's body is
I'm
a lot
asking
more valuable? Because her body
why.
is a lot more valuable because she carries a child for 9 months. That's
Not
way more
necessarily. Wait,
valuable.
yeah, if she's so her body's valuable if she's pregnant, but if she's not
Her
pregnant,
value
then
is
how's it
valuable.
justified in your world?
She doesn't have to be pregnant. She can get pregnant.
So she also could not get pregnant. A man could impregnate someone, like, and then he would have a bunch of responsibilities and financial commitments.
So you don't see any different about a man. So okay, let me ask you this: if if your kids, like both your daughter and your son are both 13 years old, what's worse, coming into a room seeing your son fucking a 20-year-old and he's 13, or your daughter getting fucked by a 20-year-old man? What is actually
It's
worse?
probably going to make me even more uncomfortable if it's happening to my daughter because of the social understanding that
Exactly.
we have and the fact that a lot of the times men are just physically stronger. So there's even
No,
more
let's
of
say
a
they
risk
both
of like
enjoying
actual
it.
coercion or something, right? Well, even if they're, but I don't care because it's statutory rape regardless. So
Exactly. So it's worse. You
no, no,
feel
no. So I'm
worse for the
saying it could
woman.
be seen as being worse, but a lot of that is going to be cultural more than anything else. At the end of the day, you're not able to give me a reason why it's worse for a girl to do it than a boy. You need to tell me, why is it worse for a woman to sleep around than a man to sleep around?
I literally just told you. Like you literally just
No, you said
made my
because
point.
they
You felt
could get pregnant. And then your example was a 13-year-old. You know, the likelihood of a fucking 13-year-old getting pregnant is very low. So, like, it's bad
it does.
regardless.
But hold on. She doesn't have to get. Hold on. She doesn't have to get. So your daughter has to get pregnant for you to feel bad.
No, that's what you're saying. You're
Like,
saying the reason it's bad when women sleep around is because they can get
I'm
pregnant.
saying that's. I'm saying that's one reason their bodies are valuable. But I just gave you a different example about your daughter and your son, and you said you
Just
feel worse when your son.
no, I
I mean
said
your
I
daughter.
could see myself feeling even worse. Both are fucking bad and both are equally bad and both are equally against the law. But I would probably feel even worse because of the sheer risk of a man overpowering the girl. Whereas that's a little less likely to happen to a boy. But it could
So
still
you just
happen there
don't
too.
feel worse
But
for
either way, I want
just
to
'cause she.
clarify that like what it doesn't matter which one might make me more uncomfortable. They're both bad and both those rapists belong in prison.
Just because they both bad, that doesn't mean one isn't worse. I'm trying to show you
You're not
that
able to explain why one
because
is worse, and I don't think you want to go down that path. Why, like, by by definition, you're also saying that one is better, and like none of those are. That's not a better scenario. It's never okay to commit statutory rape. I don't think one is worse, one is better. I think that it's just they're both bad. Why is it worse for women to sleep around, like as adults? Because besides their risk of getting pregnant, which can also is a risk that can be heavily mitigated, then what else is wrong?
they look like thotties. Like, what do you mean?
Because they
Like
what?
they look like they look like sluts, thoughts. Like, why would you want like your daughter or anybody, your girl, to be like that? Like, would you want your girl to be like that?
I don't
A previous,
understand what you mean they look like sluts. Like, do you mean like sleeping around like they've had a couple sex partners?
yes,
Do you mean like sleeping around like Because I've always
sleeping
said that you should
around
have
like a
discretion
like
when sleeping with somebody. This goes for men and women.
so for you, it's not worse if a woman has a whole lot of bodies versus a man.
No, I don't know what makes it worse, and you're not able to tell me except for because then she looks like a hoe, which is just a social thing. So why is it that when men have a lot of sex partners, they look like the baller? It's because it's a social thing.
They look like the baller because it's hard to fuck a lot of girls.
Okay, cool.
Exactly. So if it's way easier for a woman to like go out to the club and just spread her legs open and everybody comes in, like you don't think that's you think that's a good thing?
I don't think it's a good thing. I don't know why one is worse. You're now trying to appeal
N-
to the because one thing is easier, then does that mean that in a hypothetical in which you have a very high value man who's making a lot of money and is really good looking, he is really easy to it's really easy for him to hook up with girls. Is it then wrong for him to
No,
go and
it's
sleep
not
around?
easy. Well, hold on. It's not easy for him. It's not easier for him than it is even for an ugly woman. So you trying to call it easy for him? He had to work to get there.
No, no,
It's
no.
not
I'm
easy.
asking you in a hypothetical in which the roles are reversed. Here you have a man. It's easier for this guy to have a bunch of sex. Is it then wrong for him to have a bunch of sex?
Well, it depends. If you're saying in the hypothetical world where it's easier for all men,
No, this
if you just
specific
talk about
man.
okay, if it's just the specific man, no, because either way, he wasn't born that way. He wasn't born where it's easy for him to for it to be like that. He had to work for it. So no, it would not
So
be worse.
you're what do you mean wasn't born for it? Like this just
Meaning,
sounds so
meaning, women,
creepy.
women are born easily. Like just being a woman, they can easily go out anywhere, spread their legs open, and say, "Hey, who wants to fuck?" And a lot of guys
It's
will
weird
line
that you
up for
say that
that.
like it's all women's fault, but like the horny
No, no,
men are equally responsible in this case.
you can say that, but I'm not trying to blame women for it. I'm just saying that's reality. Like that is reality. So we're not gonna praise them getting all those bodies when they
Like
could
I
just
feel
go
like
out
now
like that. Like
trying to say that like this sounds very similar to the argument I heard the other day that they try to say it's women are born with their value, which is like this
yeah,
strange yeah, which I really disagree with because you're basically saying that a woman's value is her virginity.
I mean, her value is her like her body, like literally.
Yeah, so
That's
sex, her ability to have sex is what gives her the value. And then usually that ties in with being a virgin, which is why you're saying if you don't want them sleeping around because it's better for them to be a virgin, right? Because that would then mean their value is higher.
I mean, they don't have to be virgins, but it's completely there's a difference between being like there's a difference between having two body counts and having like 20. There's like they don't have to technically be virgins, but their body is run down if they have 20 versus a woman who has
What does
two.
run down even mean?
Like
Like, do
it's
you think
literally
that, like, wait,
ran
do you think a physical change that happens if a woman has a lot of sex
in their brain, yes.
in their brain? Or do you, no, like physically? You're saying run down, making it seem as
The
though,
way they act. That's what I'm saying. The way they act.
okay,
A
so
woman that's
let me
been
try to
they're
break this
like
down because you're saying a lot of dumb shit really quickly. So, like, when you say that a
now.
woman's value is in her body, I want you to understand how harmful that notion is. Even if you're not taking the extreme of, well, virginity, you're still saying like her sexuality is her value, right? So a
What's so
lot of
harmful about that?
because a lot of the times this is taught to girls when they're very young that their virginity is their value, their sexuality is their value, right? And you know what
Okay.
happens? And guess what happens when those girls experience sexual abuse? Their value has been lessened. At least that's what they believe based on their teachings. So now their body has been abused or taken advantage of. They've lost their virginity. They've been raped. Maybe they have already lost their virginity, but this time it was forceful. Now they have a body count of 4 people, and suddenly now their value is decreasing because they've had more sex. That is a
Now you talking
harmful
about
thing
them
to teach.
so you're talking about them being raped. That's what you're talking about.
And I'm saying that based on your reasoning, if a woman's body is abused, aka raped, then she is losing some of her value.
So you think most women that are born are raped? I think most women
No,
live their whole life without being raped.
no, no, no.
So we can
So
still
those
use that.
girls who would be educated that way, if they are to experience sexual abuse, would be less likely to report it. And men who partake in what's called purity culture, this idea that women should remain pure because their value is in their virginity or their sexuality, these guys are far more likely to engage in rape myths and to blame the woman for being raped rather than blaming the actual perpetrator of the violent act.
Oh, okay, I'm not saying we need to blame the woman for being raped. All I all I'm saying is it's not a w- it's not likely for a woman to get raped. Like
Wait, women have
I
a
get,
way
I
higher risk of being raped, and it doesn't even have to be raped. Maybe they get groped or something, okay? All I'm demonstrating is that this makes it even more difficult for women to come forward and uh, uh, um, report abuse, which rape is already a heavily underreported crime. This makes it even more difficult because now women are going to be even more hesitant because, well, their value has been lost or part of their value has been chipped away. That's the problem, is that when you
yeah,
say that the woman's value is on her body, then you get into yikesy territory. Because even if not every woman's going to be raped, doesn't mean that,
not even most, not
but
even
your
most.
your standard doesn't hold up if we're talking about somebody who is victimized. 1 in
There's
6
always
women
like
are victims of sexual assault. 1 in 6 women. That is enough to be incredibly concerning and steer clear of this bullshit that
there's no way
women's
of telling
value is
that
in
even
their
a true
body.
fact. So there's no way of telling them that's even factual. Like 1 in 6. Like honestly, we know like most women live in this life without even getting raped once. So I'm not saying rape is fine, but most
1 out
women
of
live
every
in this life without
6
getting raped.
American women has been the
That's
victim of an attempted or completed rape in her lifetime. So they're counting attempted rapes here as well. So that's probably why it's a little bit smaller. Or yeah, one women are raped. That's 1 in 30 women. So probably at least one woman you know was raped or sexually assaulted in the last 12 months, which is also
yeah, that's
pretty shocking. I mean, I have talked to several girls that I've known throughout my life, and it's very sad and concerning how much how almost all have some kind of an experience with being maybe not like raped at something as dramatic as that, but like forced or coerced or manipulated. And it's way more common than I think you're giving it credit for. And this notion that because the woman has now been violated, her worth is decreasing is a bad thing to say. And it also lessens the likelihood of that woman going and reporting the crime. So it just makes the world a worse place.
yeah. The funny thing is when they talk about women having a bunch of body counts, they mostly talk about the women who purposely go out there and like
No, no,
become
I
sluts
know.
because
Okay, I
they
think that
act.
you're missing me. Can I explain? I know that.
Yeah,
I know that you're talking about women who are consensually going out getting a high body count. But
yeah.
what I'm saying is your original claim is that women's worth is in their body, right? So, even if a lot of women are, according to you, decreasing their value by sleeping around consensually, there are also circumstances where your logic completely backfires because that means that women who are raped or assaulted are also now less in value because their body has been used or violated.
I
Do
mean,
you
I get what
understand?
you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. I just don't think it changes. Like, I don't think just because of what you said, people should stop saying women with a bunch of body counts are not sluts or anything like that. Like, they still are, and they're not like good relationship partners. I don't think people should stop saying
Maybe
that
they
just
are,
because
maybe
of
they're
what you just
not. I
said.
don't know, but like
What? Maybe they're not. Wait, no, you coping. They're not.
I mean, I can look it up if you want, but I don't think that it's necessary to be
Some
like
things are just common
shaming
sense.
women for having sex, especially when you're like
Some
you're also talking about like this rare exception of like the woman who's out spreading her leg for literally every single like no. A lot of the
that's
times
not
the
rare.
average woman has like a body count of like I think the highest is like 8 for most people. Like not very it's not very high
Two
up
for
there.
a woman. I'm like. Like that's still pretty high. So I don't
So
know
then
what
if
you
men are
mean by
sleeping around them, they are sluts also, right?
if you want to. I mean, you can use whatever word you want, slut, player. It doesn't matter. But for men, it's different. It's completely different because the way their mind are. Meaning, if a man sleeps with a whole bunch of women, he's not gonna break up with his girl. Like who most likely breaks up the relationship? It's usually women, right? So if a woman is sleeping with like 20 or 40 men, like she's most likely up with the man. Versus if the man is sleeping with 20 or 40 women, he's gonna keep her, sleep with her, and sleep with others. Like he doesn't. He's gonna keep the relationship,
I don't
and
care
he's
if
gonna
he
keep
cares or
taking care of
not.
her.
I don't care. Taking
What do you
care of
mean?
somebody does not justify you mistreating them or neglecting the vow that you made to them.
You keep
So,
saying the vow, like
yeah,
you're
because if
assuming
you've
that
committed to
everybody
somebody,
makes
you've
this
committed to
vow.
them, and it's not okay to cheat on them. I know, it's very hot
I mean,
take.
you keep saying you're assuming everyone makes this vow. Like
My
you're
dude, we're
assuming it's
talking
default.
about cheating here. So it's assumed that you have made a commitment to a prior partner or else it wouldn't be cheating.
You can be loyal when you're a man. You can be loyal in different ways, like
Okay.
literally.
Okay, well,
Like
basically, women initiate more divorce. It's true. A lot of the times, women suffer from their emotional needs not being met, which is largely because
exactly.
men don't know how to be in touch with their own emotions or emotionally connect with other people, which is only further worsened by people like Andrew Tate, who claim that like depression is fake and suppress emotions, this, that, and the other thing.
Well, he
Um,
never said depression was fake. So
yeah, he literally did. I'm about to go over a clip of it next where he says depression is not real, being depressed is real, which
but
is
you gotta.
bullshit because depression is in fact real. So if you have a man
He
who's
just
like dealing
means
with
as a
depression,
clinical.
he might not know what he might not even want to accept that, and that's going to make him really closed off emotionally, harder for him to connect with his wife, more likely to get divorced. A lot of these red pill people contribute to divorce.
No, they don't say you can't show emotion. They just say for little things. There's no like you need to be more masculine in front of your woman. There's no need to be crying over every little thing.
I know.
That's
This
what
is the
they're
same
saying.
talk I've had a billion times. Yeah, don't cry over everything. Have emotional intelligence. Yes, this goes for men and women. We all agree. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about just like being aware of your emotions and knowing how to deal with them in healthy ways.
Yes, they tell you how to do that. Like
Really? They do?
handle your
How?
yes.
Please tell me.
Handle it in different so instead of freaking busting out crying like a child, like when you're a grown man,
You don't have to
like you
bust out and start crying like a child. You could just be emotional and having like a moment with your partner where you're talking like it also depends
okay, but
why
why do
you're
you have it
crying,
happen with
right?
your partner? Yeah, it depends on why you're crying. Like if you're crying over like whole family just freaking died in an accident, like
Yeah, but what if it's like
you
you've
could
had like a really stressful several weeks and you feel like the
yeah,
stress is just really
that's
getting to
dumb
you
as
and so finally
no,
you sit
that's
down with
dumb
your
as
partner and
fuck.
you start just like crying and it's just like an
That's
emotional
dumb
thing.
as fuck. See, that's dumb as fuck. Why would you cry in front of your partner because you had a bad week at work?
Because if
Like
you're really
you,
stressed out, it feels good to be able to release those emotions rather than suppressing them and
you could
releasing them with a partner. Your partner should be somebody you can trust and that you can be vulnerable with at times.
right, but you don't think it's unattractive to for a woman to see their partner like imagine every
You don't
week is
wait,
like
why do you
another
guys
thing at
do
work.
this every time? You don't need the woman to
It's
be
facts.
attracted to you turned on 24/7. You know that it's also been
Wait,
demonstrated scientifically that when women cry, they literally release pheromones that turn men off. So it's not very
I mean,
it's
yeah, I
not going to turn
understand.
anybody on to see somebody crying. But if I'm crying to a partner, my goal is not to turn them on. It's to have a human connection and be able to express my emotions.
You're not like following along. No one said we have to turn them on every single second, but you don't want to have to turn them off. Like every week, wife would be like attracted to you if every week you came home talking about work, like and started like being in your feelings about it. Every single week, there's something else.
Most
You don't
women
think
report
after
that
a
they want
while,
a guy who's more in touch with his emotions rather than
yeah, don't
less.
listen to you don't want to listen to what women say. You want to listen to their actions.
I
They
also
might
noted that I
say
am an
that,
ape and I should
but
go F
then
myself.
later they already cheating on you about something. It might be
You
exactly
have the
because of
worst
that.
views of women, and it's insane how detached from the real world you are.
Oh my god. Well, you gonna say I'm misogynistic? Like, I literally, like, it's crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy. Like,
Okay. I
I'm
just
just
think
saying,
I
like,
feel like unfortunately you along with all the other red pill cucks, you're like
I'm not a red pillar.
you're not a red pillar, really?
No,
Okay, so you're then you're just like a low value human along with a lot of the
no,
red pill people. So maybe you're not red pill,
I don't
but
hate
you
women. I
along
don't.
with the other red pill people are not high value men. You're low value, not low value men, low value fucking human beings because you have dumb
Yeah, because
fuck beliefs about everything. You don't
we
understand
don't want to
women.
come
You
home
don't
and
understand
cry about our
relationships.
dog.
You think that it's better to suppress emotions, which makes it worse for men to survive. Literally contributes to
About
suicide rates.
suppressing emotions, about handling it differently.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
okay to handle it in some ways. I sometimes crying, and it's just I hope that you are able to
yeah,
work out your
crying about
issues,
your
my friend.
job is not like
I'm about to cry over this conversation, so peace.